Hey, Spirit Intuitives. I'm just coming from you today to talk about a topic that I really wasn't too keen on in the beginning. And I actually got asked to possibly do a video on past lives. And so I'm coming to you today right in front of my sacred space where I finally put everything together. Just to talk a little bit about that whole aspect of past lives or reincarnation or whatever term that you want to use. And I actually did an entire blog post on this, spiritbelief.com, Kathy Pickett, and I actually have my notes right here so I can reference. And I did this one June 18th. And being raised the way I was, it was never something that I even thought of to remotely be true. And so now that I've come a long way in my spiritual development and I've read lots of things and I've listened to lots of people, I definitely have gotten rid of a lot of the skepticism surrounding it. And the reasons being for me is just because there's a lot of things in my life that maybe I've always gravitated towards or you've always liked. And you can do this for yourself too. So that's kind of why I'm here today, just to kind of give you some pointers about that whole, concept of having a past life that maybe you weren't aware of before. Or if you are, you can dive deeper into it. And there's many experts who have books out there. Brian Weiss has a great one, Past Lives, Many Masters, when he worked with a patient of his. And she recalled very specific things that happened to her. And I personally have not had anything like that. But you can look at your own life through possibly recurring dreams, spirit animals. If you go to a place and it might be very familiar to you and you're not sure why, the setting, maybe there's a country or a place that you've always been attracted to, but you're not sure why. And so you have to look at yourself in that way. Period, clothing, different things like that. But it could also go the opposite way. Things that you never liked. Or things that you really don't understand that maybe you have a disinterest on that possibly others have always liked, or they don't seem to have a problem with it. And one of the things with me, and I know I might ruffle a little feathers on this one, but for me personally, I've never really liked playing hostess, like in my house. As far as, people coming over, it's not that I don't like to be around all that, holidays and whatnot, and that gets chaotic with a lot of people anyways, but I'm just no good at it. And we all need to do our obligatory things, of course, but it was just never something that appealed to me. And there's certain aspects of it where I just become very independent. And I think, well, you can get that on your own, or you can do that your own way and get stuff yourself. And so I even reference in here that being a waitress or a server or a waiter, any of those types of jobs would probably never have been something I would have gravitated towards. But anyone who does that for a living and you make a decent living at it and it's for you, that is awesome. That's wonderful. But there are certain aspects of it that really just aren't for me. And I can serve others in other ways. And so you have to look at those things in your life and just sort of examine them on your own. Write stuff down. Write it down. Write it down. Obviously, I do that a lot. So it becomes kind of tricky if you have never had something maybe very specific. And I've talked to people who can recall very specific things that they believe to be a past life of theirs. And some people would tell you, there's different numbers with everyone. You can incarnate many, many times. And my post is actually titled Past Lives and Soul Connections, because you can have those soul connections with people. And I've read things that you reincarnate with your birth family over and over again, only you just all assume different roles. And it's kind of tricky. Because I even say in here, maybe your mom was your sister in a past life. Oh boy, that's, wow. I can't even comprehend something like that. But I, of course, related it to Warrior, or the Ultimate Warrior, who is the subject of my book. And not that we shared past life together, but I'm open. I'm open to all of these possibilities. And I've actually had people tell me that just because of certain things that I've gotten from him in spirit. And, you know, I'm not going to be super naive and say, OMG, so cool, that would be awesome. I'm sure that's a part of me that would say that. But then there's another part of me that, you know, says, you know, that would be great. But, you know, we just want to learn as much as we can. And that's what I'm doing every day, is trying to just learn as much as I can as I go along this journey. And I hope you are too. And so hopefully you will connect with those people who are genuine and they're not trying to just, you know, sell you a class or sell you a product. And I actually did have a mini brief past life session with a professional, and I might go back to her to do a group session. And it was, you know, only 15 minutes, but she said a little bit of stuff about me that I never clued her in on or never said anything to her. And just different things that she saw that she was encouraging me to clear away. And she would say, oh, I never saw this before. I never saw that before. And it's all in my story. But a little bit of it reflected how I was raised. And I never wanted to explore, you know, religion with all of the spiritual things that I'm doing. But that was a big influence. And I still, you know, have my roots, but I'm willing to always expand them. And so we talked about that a little bit. And there were things she said that, you know, just really struck me, and other things that she never would have known. I did not clue her in or say anything to her. And so I found that very compelling. It was very warm and inviting. It was not anything about predictions or anything of that nature, but you can find somebody, you know, possibly who might work for you. And I, you know, had signed up to get emails through this place, and I found out about her, and it was word of mouth. And so it is hard to find somebody that possibly you could trust enough to do something like that for you. So I just explore it as a possibility. And like I said, I leave my mind open. And but you need to look at your own life and maybe make that list. You know, were there cultures that always attracted to you? Or is there a certain period in history that you found yourself always engaged in? Or maybe when you were in school, is there a subject that always just kept resonating with you? And you can read lots of testimonials from people in books that will tell you that they did indeed have this experience as past life. And then you can proceed to find out if you have a soul connection with other people that might be in your circle. And of course, the inner circle is your birth family. And some stuff I don't think we're supposed to know till we are passed someday. But we can always find out answers or meditate, pray, ask for answers, ask for symbols, ask for signs. You'll get that repetition that I always talk about, and be consistent with what you say. You know, and it'll come to you. And so I made this big list in my blog post of likes, dislikes, traits I've always had, maybe things I like, maybe things I don't. And you've got to have that strong sense your whole life. Okay, maybe it's things you've forgotten, that maybe you need to go back in your past and look at that. You know, what kind of child were you, and what interests did you like, and what did you have? And some of it's not so good. But once you get through it, and, you know, then it kind of makes sense to you. So I think it's definitely a topic that is worth exploring, and it does make a difference, even if it's something small. So like I said, that blog post is June 18th, and you can find me at spiritandbelief.com, Kathy Pickett, and I would love to hear your comments. I would love to hear any stories you may have of past lives, or anything that you remember, a soul connection with somebody, or something that resonates with you as being important in your life. So, you know, you could subscribe to my channel, you can like this video, share it, follow me. If there's anything you want to talk about and we can have a conversation, I would love to hear more. So, till next time, and I will see you all again, but I thank my friend for mentioning this as a possible video. So until then, stay true, Spirit Intuitives, and I will connect again soon.